Welcome. Parents, my senior parents, parents who are at home, students who are at home, everybody who's at home, to our socially distanced string orchestra show. I've been wanting to say that for a while. Trevor Noah, but welcome everyone. Right now I have a big smile on my face. You can't see it, but it's big. We haven't done this since last December, a year ago. So I'm thrilled to have all of you here and at least have this opportunity to perform for the parents of my seniors. We're also performing for everyone at home, so happy YouTube. Today, you don't get a program, but we do have technology, and I've learned how to use the QR codes. So hopefully you got your program, you got the QR code in the back. I think that's a program home, so hopefully you printed them out, and you can follow along with our new technology because of our pandemic. I'd like to thank a few people before we get started. I'd like to thank Dr. McCrae for letting me do this, to have this program this evening. I'd like to thank Ms. Kay for just kind of helping to keep the fine arts sane over this last year, teaching the fine arts in a social pandemic, teaching Zoom orchestra is challenging at times. And also, finally, I'm going to thank my wife, Mrs. Warner. She helped me so much. Erin, thank you so much for teaching me. She was the first person, the moment we were going pandemic, or the moment we were going distance learning, she got me on Zoom. You guys remember the email that said, everyone install Zoom for my class. This is what we're going to be doing. You can blame her. She's the one who taught me how to do that as fast as I did. There's no way that would happen. So thank you, Erin. I appreciate it. And finally, I'm going to thank Mr. Gahan for the purchase of smart music. Everyone behind me absolutely loves smart music. Everyone who's ever used smart music loves smart music. Thank you, Mr. Gahan, for allowing that purchase to happen. I know they thank you. So I just want to do this for a moment, for whatever reason it might mean to you, but I would just like a 10-second moment of silence, even though you guys are being really silent right now, which is the audience. Let's just have a 10-second moment of silence for this past year and a half. Okay, on with the show. So, first piece we're going to play for you today, because when I programmed this year, it was challenging. We had to get pieces that were on smart music so we can talk to each other at home if we were socially distanced. But finally, here we are. We had about a month and a half worth of rehearsals to gather this music. The first piece we're going to play for you today, one of my favorite Imagine Dragons songs, called Believer. But Believer now means something more to me than before. And at some point during this third quarter, Mr. Gahan's son, Will, he got on this talent show in the middle school where he sang a cappella this tune. He absolutely crushed it. It was amazing. I was so proud of him just because he was at home singing Believer to himself in his bedroom. So when I saw this song that we could play for the orchestra, play for the string class, that's why I decided to do it. So we'll start with that. Grant Foley on drums, ladies and gentlemen. Two, three, four. So we're going to do the senior thing a little bit different. So I'm just going to kind of do a little unique here and there. So these first three seniors have been just a rock on the cello section. So we're going to start with Mr. Graham Foley. So why don't you, parents, can you join your son? Grandparents too. Okay, so the Foley family, they've been around for a while. So it's been an honor, it's been an honor. He's been playing the cello for 7 years. But really what I remember is when middle school, mom said something about, their son's like taking drums and kind of plays a little, and maybe you could sneak into the rock band or something. So all of a sudden you joined the rock band, you did a great job. But then it was just never saying no. When I said, I need a drummer for my upper school rock band, I had like 2 people. I said, okay, I'll do that. So you joined our rock band in the upper school, which allowed the rock band to continue, which was fabulous, and I really appreciated that. Your precision on the cello, the fact that you would, every test that you give, I know you said a couple times this year, you look at it and work hard, but normally you always say 100%. I mean, everything was always up to tempo, everything was so solid, and it really has helped and created such a strong cello section. So I thank you. Now, the last thing is the composition. Grant's going to be playing composed a piece for you tonight that our orchestra will play, and did a little independent study and did some composition for us, and it's just fabulous. It's an amazing thing. So, Mom and Dad, thank you for letting me teach Grant for all this time, and every other kid in your family. So here's, I think I have enough for almost everybody. So yeah, you're welcome. And Dad, you can have them too. All right, absolutely. Finally, you need to come down now. Yeah, tell me to come down. And if you're scared, but Mom and Dad, tell me to come down. Tell these folks, come on up here, absolutely. Take your time. Come on over. Yeah. Beautiful. So, Tenley, yes. For Tenley also, 7 years on the cello. Amazing musician. But what I'm going to remember, the superb performances, of course, working so hard for us for 7 years, but really in high school, and, you being a part of this power trio, really sitting, often early on sitting in the back or whatever, but almost fine. You guys could have been in the front, like the first or second you were around, but neither there. But what I am saying, what I will remember is sitting on my porch and looking out, the flowers starting to come up and all this stuff during COVID. And I know we're still in COVID, but in the heart of COVID, and watching your recital and doing that, for those, every time when you brought that in with the different sections of your recital, it was so memorable for me. And not only was it fabulous performances, but I'll always remember giving us that, and giving a lot of friends that as well. So thank you for letting me teach Temple for all this time. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Drew's parents, Drew, come on. So Mr. McClellan, Drew McClellan, 7 years on the cello. Right? You were never a viola player, right? Okay. Okay, all right. So 7 years on the cello. Still, an extremely serious student ever since 6th grade. Took everything very seriously. Very seriously. Decided to take private lessons. Has spent years in Louisville Youth Orchestra as well. And right now, so proud to say that he's my principal cellist in the Colorado Orchestra, the Louisville Youth Orchestra, and has had 4 absolutely fabulous performances this year for that orchestra. Once again, being a part of that power trio has made the orchestra, there's a reason why the cellos sound as good as they sound, is because of the extra effort and the extra playing and the extra orchestras to make that happen. So thank you, and Mom and Dad, thank you for letting me teach Drew for all these years. You're welcome. Okay, so this next piece we're going to play is called Whitefish Plural. It's arranged by Mr. Nate Beasley. Nate, can you wave the vote? Okay, so Nate Beasley came to me last year and said, Mr. Lerner, I need to arrange a piece. And I'm looking at him like, oh, you're a sophomore, you can't do that, you don't have the skills to do that. Why would you even think about doing that? But then COVID, so I didn't have to answer his questions anymore. This year shows up, and once again, he's on my tail. I want to arrange a piece, I want to arrange a piece. Oh, yes, you can arrange a piece, go ahead, show him how. He did it himself. And came up with Whitefish Plural, which is a podcast that he likes to listen to, but it's like the pregame to the podcast. I like to just say it's an interesting tune, but sometimes less is more. That's all I'm going to leave you with, is less is more, and then you can kind of make up your own mind after you finish the piece. This is Whitefish Plural, arranged by Nate Beasley. Molly, can you put your bass down and come around, please? Yeah, take your time. Oh, Molly's parents, can you join us? The least. Come on. There you go. Molly Lee. Good old Molly. We love Molly. Molly, you bring so much joy to the bass section, but I love the way you answer all my questions. That's probably what I will always remember. So, like the other day, when your bow just completely exploded, and I saw you back there, and it looked like you were holding the bow hair in the tip, and you were trying to play the bow like that. That was I've never seen anything like that before. We love Molly. So Molly's been playing the bass for 7 years. You've been playing ever since 6th grade, right? You've gone up the ranks. You're doing a fabulous job as a leader. I'm so proud of you. I remember hearing some of the tests that were coming at me from you, and I was just so happy that you just kept playing, because you just improved and you improved and you improved. I'm so proud. Let's see. I have a few notes. It's just Molly's way. I mean, Molly does it her way, nobody else's way. It's Molly's way, and and usually the answer to each question is okay. So thank you so much for allowing me to teach Molly for these 7 years, letting her play bass with us. Thank you very much. Aiden Gage. Yeah, I think Aiden Gage is next. Grant Foley's already done. Aiden Gage, come on up. It looks like it, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. So Aiden Gage, Grandma, Mom, come on over. Come on over here. So Aiden Gage, Mr. Aiden Gage, 7 years in the program. So Aiden, you played the viola. You played the bass. He also played the bass. Yeah. So he played electric bass and upright bass. So just the interesting thing about Aiden is that yes, he played the viola and he played the viola extremely well. Right? He could have stayed with the viola. He could have taken lessons on the viola, and he could probably be going to school next year for the viola if he wanted to. But no, he had to learn how to play the electric bass, which is fine. I like the electric bass. The bass is great. So he learns to play the electric bass, joins bands. Outside of school, he joins the upper school, or he joins a contemporary ensemble, plays for 2 years, crushed it, extremely strong bass player. Then gets bored of that. So decides, okay, well, why don't I just learn how to play the upright bass? Because I already know how to play the electric bass. So this learn I'm going to get an upright bass. I'm going to learn how to play it. Okay, no, you're not. Oh, yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. So he gets himself an upright bass, learns how to play it like over the summer, and then really, honestly, just tears it up in that session. He's not faking. He's not playing most of the notes. He's playing every single note. And he's done an amazing job. He's done an amazing job for the past 7 years. So thank you for allowing me to teach Aiden over these 7 years. He's done an amazing job, and I appreciate it. Okay, Lucas, it's your turn. Lucas, you there? Lucas, get out the video games. All right, Lucas. So, yes, yes, it was one time, but it was the week of the concert. Okay, so Lucas, here, wait. He's dead center. So, Lucas played bass for us for the past 7 years. Lucas is at home right now. Lucas, I'd like to call you our gentle giant. You started in the 6th grade, really had a tough time getting the fingers where they needed to go and where the bow needed to go, and you went through 7th grade, and you went through 8th grade, and then I see you as a freshman. You still want to play. You're enthusiastic about that instrument, and I really saw a big improvement on the bass from your freshman into your sophomore year. And I miss you, Lucas. I miss not seeing you this year. But I know you were there 98% of the time, except that one day when you were playing video games. But other than that, Lucas, I'm thrilled that you were with us for these 7 years. Dad, thank you so much for letting me teach Lucas, just thank you. Okay, so next piece, this one's called Looking Back. So I could probably just make Brent talk about it, but it's his original composition. Like I said, he took an independent study with me, which really, when it comes to an independent study with me, it means he's studying independently on his own, and then he says hi to me twice a week. So he learned, but I mean, he did about a dozen compositions. Maybe 6, 7 compositions, but we got to a point where we were like, we need to write something for this orchestra. So he dug deep. We had some valleys and ups and downs, but finally, here comes Looking Back. And I think it's a fabulous piece. I think he wrote it very well for this ensemble. I think he took into consideration. He was very thoughtful about all the different parts, about the cellos and the violas, the violin 1, 2, and the basses. It reminded me of a fabulous composition for a young string orchestra, and it worked out beautifully. Good news for telling the parents of my seniors, they are allowing live music for the graduation. So Grant's piece will be the way everybody processes up. So we're going to have some live music again. So here's Looking Back by Grant Foley. Ayanda, it's your turn. Okay. So Ayanda Sutu, 7 years on the violin. I'll remember one time we went to an LO concert, and boy, I can't wait to take these kids back to the LO. Well, we went to the LO concert, she got there, and she was pretty early, and oh no, I don't think Mrs. Lerner was there. We weren't doing the date night thing quite yet, but she showed up, and Dad dropped her off, and oh, she was so embarrassed to have Dad drop her off. He had I think like an FC jersey on or something. I said, well, where's he going? He said, well, he's got to go to work. I said, what do you mean he has to go to work? He's the goalie coach for the soccer team down the road. And I just thought, well, that's kind of cool. But it was neat to just see how embarrassed she was of her father for being there for the orchestra concert, or dropping her off at least. So Ayanda's worked extremely hard. And once again, I'm just going to say, Ayanda, I've missed you. I've missed seeing you in rehearsal. I've missed seeing you progress and hearing you play your violin. It's just not the same when they're recordings, but I'm honored that you decided to keep playing this year, even in this strange time. I'm sorry I made you cry, I think when you were a freshman, or when you were in the violin two-part, I think I called you out or something. I hope you forgive me for that. I didn't mean it. But thank you so much. Mom and Dad, thank you for letting me teach Ayanda these past 7 years. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so we have the Johnson family. Ava, if you could come down, that would be awesome. Plug this back. Mom and Dad and Miles, you want to join them, Miles? Just to, so you don't have to sit. Come on now. So Ava and I have a history before collegiate. A short history, just because they came from another school, and she was taking violin lessons with me just for a short amount of time before we came to collegiate. And then she comes to collegiate, and she joins, and she has to do the middle school, and she did all the 6th grade and 7th grade string program. I think you played cello. Did you play cello? And I remember your mother saying, why do you have to make you lugging that cello home all the time? You can't carry everything. So she did that for a couple of years. She also did the rock band. I know one thing I'm going to remember from Ava, especially in the middle school, is her just tearing up My Chemical Romance. Such a fan of this band that I personally really enjoyed and was listening to before that. But yeah, she was a star on stage. She did that just for a short amount of time, and then she became an amazing actor. So she started doing acting, and then I think I saw her in a play downtown somewhere. She was acting. She had a major role, well, not major role, but you had a role in a play at Actors Theater, which was fabulous. So then she comes back to strings as a freshman and a sophomore, and I was thrilled. And did an amazing job, and still then took a year off in her junior year, and I was so happy to see her come back for senior year. What I will always remember, if you just watch her play, but she has this absolutely amazing bow arm. Okay, to develop a bow arm like that, if everyone could just have that fluid bow arm, everyone would play the violin. I mean, but it's just so phenomenal. Ever since I taught her, she would have this precise posture and this bow arm like that. And I think that's kind of how you can kind of just correlate that with everything Eva does. Everything is precise. Okay? And she does it her way. She definitely does it her way. She has fabulous nails for playing the violin, let me tell you. But does it her way. So, Mom and Dad and Miles, thank you for letting me continue to teach your family. I certainly appreciate it. I think we have one more. Come on down. You're the next contestant. The helmet thing. Right, Will? Don't get in trouble for the Minecraft names. Spell name, helmet. Right? No, we'll talk later. Okay, so Elizabeth Hellman, 7 years playing the violin with us ever since 6th grade. I will specifically remember our 8th grade year together with her. Without saying names in that class, was anyone here a member of our 8th grade string class with Elizabeth Hellman? I mean, somebody had to be, no? None of our seniors? Nobody? Okay. Do you remember? You remember who you were sitting with in the first violin? Oh, it was wonderful. And so now I don't have a smile on my face. It's more of a, I don't know. The vein starts to pop out. It was just a challenging class. It was a very challenging class. But Elizabeth stayed so positive. And I just knew she would never play the violin again after dealing with that class. There was no way she was inspired to continue to play the violin after what we worked for. Now, she shows up for freshman year and continues to come. And you've been constantly working hard. Everything you hand in is to the best of your ability and precise, and you've improved tremendously over the years. And you deserve to be sitting where you're sitting. You really do. Now, once again, like everything this year, I wish we could have spent more time, but we've had 2 fabulous concerts, and a lot of that is because of the work you've done and the leadership that you took and the practice that you took. So I thank you for allowing us to have a successful year. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for letting me teach Elizabeth for 7 years, and hopefully I can teach that other guy over there for a little while. Okay? All right. Thank you. Okay, did I forget anybody? I did not. Yeah, it's actually one. So the only way to finish up a concert like this is with the Rolling Stones. Okay, so we're gonna end our concert with the Rolling Stones tune, the Rolling Stones medley. I love the Stones. Hopefully these guys, if they didn't like the Stones, they might like the Stones a little bit more after playing on their instruments. So after this piece is over, the concert is complete. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for taking the time, for the support, for everything. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Everyone ready? Ready, last song. Thank you.